Hello ladies and gentlemen, Safehouse here, and today I'll be showing you the Fire Mage Dragon Knight build. It's one of those things in Elder Scrolls Online that you really can do anything with any class. So obviously when you think of a Dragon Knight, you're just going to think along the lines of a tank. But the Fire Mage is actually a really strong build. So obviously you got your Dragon Knight, and I have gone with High Elf. There's a few other ones you can choose rather than High Elf, but obviously when you're running Destruction Staff, increased experience gain, increased magicka recovery, increased max magicka, which is a really good one because you do run out of magic very quick because all these abilities do cost magicka. So use your stamina for running around and dodging, and increases with cold, fire or shock damage effects by 2%, which increases with level as well. So you obviously, that fire damage is a big thing because that's what the build is based around. With class, obviously Ardent Flame is going to be pretty much your main one. Let's start with Standard of Might, which is the upgrade of Dragon Knight Standard. You also can use the Mage's Guild Ultimate, which is this one, the Ice Comet, which is upgrade of Meteor, but it deals magic damage and not fire damage, and your build's really based around increasing that fire damage. So I'm going to stick with Standard of Might for now, but if you would like to use the Mage's Guild one, you can use that too, but it does take a long time to get. From the Ardent Flame, I grabbed Engulfing Flames, which is upgrade of Fiery Breath, so it deals 5 fire damage in a cone in front of the player, and ignites enemy for 36 fire damage over 8 seconds. Enemy takes 9% additional damage from fire attacks, so there you go, you're increasing your fire damage and you're getting a dot that is a massive AoE as well. Definitely a need to have ability for this build. I also have Unstable Flame. This one's not everyone's going to be running, so deals 14 fire damage and deals 56 fire damage over 8.5 seconds. Damage is increased by 10% every 2 seconds. So it's a really good ability. It actually does the most damage for single target out of all these. A lot of people go under Weapon Destruction Staff, they'll go with Wall of Elements. So when you're using a Fire Destruction Staff, which you'll be using in this build, you actually get a fire wall that does an AoE fire as well. I sort of thought you've already got the AoE with the Engulfing Flames, you may not need the wall, but if you find that you would prefer more AoE to the single target damage like I have here, then you can switch this Unstable Flame for the Wall of Elements. I'm going to be doing a bit more testing of that once the game does go live, and I may run that as well. So we go back to class under Draconic Power. So I've got Volatile Armor, which is the upgrade of Spiked Armor. This will actually, while you're using Light Armor, which you'll be doing with this build, you use this ability and you can still hit the soft cap for armor. So you really just become a heavy armor wearer for those 20 seconds. And it deals damage for people who are attacking you, and it deals damage on activation as well. So it really is just that defensive cooldown that you could be able to pop pretty often actually. You can pretty much keep it up if you're not spamming abilities too much. You can keep it up the whole time. Burning Talons, which is another one, which is a great ability. Immobilizes nearby enemies for 4 seconds and deals 13 physical damage. Physical damage actually does scale with magicka because it is an ability, so that is fine. And then deals 12 fire damage over time. So there again, you're building off that fire damage. An ally can activate the Impale synergy, damaging enemies held within the talons. So this is your CC. You can keep it. I think it's about 6 targets that it can hold in one place at a time while you throw AoEs at them. So that's maybe why people got the firewall. It seems like you have a fair bit of AoE already, and I was looking for something with single target damage so you can keep these dots ticking. But I'll move on to the weapon now. So the Destruction Staff, I have the Destructive Clench, which is the upgrade of Destructive Touch. So it deals 12 magic damage to target enemy. Fire Touch causes knockback and stun. So that's the only one we're going to worry about because we're using Fire Staff. So the Fire Touch is going to be able to knock back and stun your enemy. So if they get close to you, that's going to be your form of CC. You can see in this build I have the AoE damage, your knockback. For CC, you've got your single target damage, your AoE CC as well, and your armor buff as well as obviously your ultimate. That is a great source of damage, which I didn't read that out. So enemies take 7 fire damage every second and receive 50% less healing for 15 seconds while on Standard of Might. Player deals 31% more damage and takes 31% less damage. So for the AoE, obviously great. While on Standard of Might, an ally may activate this Shackle synergy, damaging and immobilizing enemies in the area. So obviously a few of these abilities have the activate by your ally, so it's obviously going to be better if you're running with a group for this particular build, but it doesn't fall down so if you are playing solo, so do not worry about that. Also, a lot of people run Force Shock, so it does deal a bit of damage of every element, and then you have a 40% chance to apply the chilled status, a snare, a burning effect, damage over time, and concussion as well, which reduces their damage. But maybe if you're looking for some more bursts, you could run Force Shock. I'm not planning on running it, but you could put it in place of Destructive Clench if you thought that you didn't really need the CC knockback, but I feel like you are going to need it, so I'm going to keep that one on my bar to begin with. Maybe I'll change it with some more playtesting once you get to some higher levels. Also, weakness to the elements, which reduces spell resistance to fire, shock, and cold by 40%, is something that you could consider, especially for your single target fights. Maybe if you were going to run Destruction Staff, you could have an AoE build and a single target build. So this is obviously more AoE, so if you did want to get rid of the unstable flame and throw in the weapon, destruction staff, the wall of elements, which would be the firewall of elements for this one, and then have all your single target ones on your next one. If that's what you wanted to do, I would probably do, that's probably my plan at this stage, probably have destruction staff on both, and then also have the self-heal on the second weapon set as well. This is a bit of a different build, but it is really strong at this point, so I do definitely recommend giving it a go. Elder Scrolls comes out tomorrow, and there's going to be plenty of videos coming, so I hope to see you around, and enjoy. Thank you very much for watching, and if this video helped you out or you just enjoyed it, please smack that like button, or you can also subscribe to my channel for more videos similar to this one. Thanks guys.